Hi guys, it's Alex with the Fit Geek Mama. I want to apologize. I'm not feeling the greatest today, so if my voice goes out or if I need to blow my nose, I'm really sorry. I also figured I needed to do this as early as possible because I learned anything from yesterday is that as bad as it is now, it's going to get worse. So, on to today's topic. I wanted to talk to you about some of the struggles that I face when it comes to trying to learn a foreign language. And I know, for myself, it's really not such a big deal. As cool as it would be to be bilingual or multilingual, excuse me, it's really not, it doesn't, it's a bonus. It's not anything that's going to affect my life as of this moment. Now, it's a bonus. Maybe if I learn German in 10 years when we have extra money, hubby will take me to Germany. But, it's a bonus. I can get by speaking English. I could be that tourist. But part of the problem with having two hearing aids, even with English, is I have trouble hearing certain sounds. And that really comes into play when you're trying to learn a foreign language because you can't hear the difference in pronunciation, in enunciation. I did French in 8th grade, and this teacher just could not get it in her skull that I had two hearing aids and that I could not hear how what she was saying was different from what I was saying. And she would do it in class where she would have the whole class pronounce the word, and then anyone that pronounced it wrong, it had to stay standing, and just would keep repeating until they pronounced it correctly and could sit down. I was always the last one standing. I hated that class, and I hated that class so much that when I got to high school, I immediately signed up for Latin because pronunciation was not part of it. It was part of it, but our grade didn't reside on it. If you were even close, the Latin teacher was like, "Good job!" It was more reading and writing than it was talking. And yes, talking was a part of it, but it was a lot less stressed about getting it just right. So, and I had a similar problem when I tried to take Spanish in college as an elective, where I just could not hear the teacher speaking, and because they had switched to a straight Spanish-speaking class, I had to drop. However, I did take German in college as an elective, and I did pretty well with that. My teacher even said my accent was pretty good, so maybe I should go back to trying to learn a little more fluent German. So I can hear you guys out there right now. Alex, what does this have to do with parenting? Okay, great, you can't learn a foreign language. So what? Well, let me get there. Our 7-year-old is currently in 2nd grade. We had him moved up because we had heard, kindergarten is the new 1st grade. They have to be able to do all of these things. They have to know everything when they go into kindergarten. And we took that as gospel, and somehow, without really meaning to, but at the same time kind of purposefully, haphazardly, we accidentally overstudied him. That's not the right word. We over-prepped him. There we go. And so when we went for kindergarten roundup and they were doing the testing to determine where to place the children, and they told us what the testing was, my husband and I kind of looked at each other like, he's been able to do that for years. And what do you mean they only have to count to 5? Or, it was, to us, when we had been warned about how rigorous the standards were, the testing that they were doing seemed ridiculous. I'll be completely honest. And so this year, when he was going through 1st grade, and we were listening to him come home, and we were watching him do his packets of homework in 15 minutes, we went to the teacher and said, "How does he seem to you?" And she said, "He seems bored." And I said, "Okay, good, we're on the same page. Let's see what we can do. Let's talk to the principal." And we got him moved up. And we want to keep working with him. because he's still a little bored. You know, we don't want him we want him to be able to be a kid, but he wants to learn. You know, he wants to do the worksheets and the spreadsheets and the books and, you know, learning, practicing. I mean, he thinks it's really cool that he can count by 5s and by 10s. We need to work on his 2s. But we don't want to get him ahead of his classmates again, because even in 2nd grade, he's still testing at the top of his class, and we don't want to keep pushing and keep prepping, even though he's asking us to, because we don't want to get him ahead of his classmates to where he's bored in school again. So my thought was, well, what about learning a foreign language? You know, that's something that we could do at home. We can work on it with him and incidentally with the littles, and we can, you know, because that's not something that they start yet. At least in our school district, they don't start foreign languages, I think, until middle school and maybe even high school. So I'll have to look into that and see when they do start. But, you know, so that was like our perfect aha moment, because if he, you know, we don't want to get him ahead in math, science, history, English, but they're not learning foreign language yet. And when they are, it'll be a little older, so it won't be as big of a deal if he tests out of, say, that first initial class or even the 2nd class, because, you know, it's not going to be a 2nd grader going up to 6th grade in math. It'll be a 6th grader going up to 8th grade in Spanish or whatever. So, but then we go back to, I can't learn a foreign language. I can't hear a foreign language to be able to learn how to pronunciate correctly. And so that brings up the problem. If I'm the one teaching him any foreign language, am I going to, you know, it just sets off a couple of warning bells, and it's why we haven't started yet. I really want to. But I'm worried that I'm going to cause him problems because I can't hear. And I'm going to teach him the wrong way. But you know what? At some point, you just have to say, I'm going to do the best that I can. And we have books and workbooks and tapes, and we should probably pick up some like Spanish, kid songs. So that, because that's one of the things that I've done is, and why I think my German was so good, is because I was listening to Rammstein and singing along and really working on making sure that I sounded more like the music every time I listened to it. So I'm thinking if we pick up some kids music in Spanish, and we have Duolingo on my phone, I think that'll help. But really at this point, I just have to get over this worry that I'm going to screw something up and I'm going to cause problems for him later on, because I really hope that I don't, but I might. But you know, that's being a parent. And if this is the only thing that I cause problems for him, then yay. But so we have a plan, we need to implement it, and I just have to get past this idea that my hearing is going to cause problems for him. So wish me luck, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.